Hey, welcome back to another edition of Ruck Rehab. Today, we're gonna do something a little crazy, something far out of my comfort zone, okay? I had teased it before. I had picked up this 10 liter, 2-pocket Desert Digital bullet that had been dyed purple. I'm not a huge purple guy, but the price was right for trying something a little crazy, right? So we're gonna take this. Well, I've got this right here. This is RIT color remover. It's supposed to help eliminate dyes, but it does say that it's not very good at taking away original prints, such as the Desert Digital. So, the plan, we're not in this too deep. We are gonna give it 2, maybe 3, depending on how it goes, rounds of this baby in the RIT color remover, trying to remove all the purple. If we can successfully remove it, we'll have a sweet Desert Digital bag. Now, personally, I don't think that it's all gonna come out because it is in here. I just got back from a week of vacation wearing this thing every day. Now you can see some wear marks in it, which gives me hope that maybe it'll come up a little. But let's go for it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't remove the purple, and then you got a purple bullet still. Ooh, all right, not a big deal. So stay tuned. I'm gonna go ahead and get some water. It says for this stuff to use hot water, like simmering, not boiling. But for me, I don't have a container big enough to fit on the stove to fit this. So what we're gonna do is take our usual cleaning tub, right? Toss this baby in here. I'm gonna boil a bunch of pots of water, dump them in here and mix everything. So it'll still be super hot, but it won't be boiling. I was told that I should try to do this outside because it may smell a lot. So we'll see how that goes. We'll do it out back. It's like 86 here today, so it should help keep the temperature up a little bit on the water. But we're gonna let that go out there just a half hour. Let it, agitate and soak, and we'll give it a rinse. We'll see what it does. Also, with the clear container, you should be able to see if it's actually removing the purple or not. So, I don't know. The videos I watched on how to use this stuff, I mean, it was amazing how this little pack of powder completely took dye out of things. Like, I never thought it would work that well. It's a non-chlorine bleach type of chemical. Let's see, it says removes color, removes dye stains from whites, and is a chlorine bleach free. So it should, in theory, not damage the fabrics. That's why they sell this stuff. It's made to not damage your fabric, so you can dye it or re-dye it. If you made a mistake dyeing it, you can clean it out. So check out the other YouTube videos on this stuff. It's amazing. Hopefully we're gonna see some amazing results right here. Stay tuned. Okay, here's where I ran into a slight problem. I'm doing it in this container. I put the lid on to hold the heat. I've got some bricks in to keep it submerged. Here's the issue. You gotta have a huge stock pot or something to get this water off the top, because I had like a pot and 2 other pots boiling. Didn't fill much of that, and I dumped it in here, mixed in the powder, right? So what that did was get me almost covered. I had to add a little bit of hot water just to cover the ruck. So I've got another couple pots boiling to finish off the job. In hindsight, if I could do it again, which I might, and in the future, get a big stock pot so you can have tons of boiling water, so I can stick it in here, because the heat loss is just, I mean, you can feel it coming out there. I got the lid on to try to hold it in. So I don't know, we'll see how this goes. If I do a second round, maybe I'll see if I can borrow a huge pot from somebody. Stay tuned. Okay, so I did today, I worked on this bolt ruck. As you can see, it's not any different really. It might be a little faded looking. I did 1 round of that color remover, 1 pack in that clear container with this submerged for half an hour, and it didn't really look like it did much of anything. And I think it was a temperature problem because I was like, well, it's real thin and it wasn't holding the temp. It said try to keep it around 200 degrees, which can't do it on the stovetop. It stinks, by the way. It smells like chemicals. So if you're gonna do it inside, make sure you have like one of those fans over your stove that really goes somewhere, because mine doesn't really go anywhere. It just blows the smell around. So I didn't bother doing it in the house. So then what I did was I took a 5-gallon bucket so that I could pour I boiled a ton of water. Boiled a ton of water, dumped it in the 5-gallon bucket, mixed in 2 packs of the color remover, put this in it, slammed the lid on it, and then I put it inside 2 more 5-gallon buckets to try to insulate it, because I was like, well, it's a thicker wall, plus now we got basically 3 walls. And it stayed nice and hot for a long time. And I let this thing, I agitated it, just shook it for 20 minutes. And then I basically let it just soak in there for over an hour. Probably almost an hour and a half, 2 hours, because I was like, well, nothing's changing, so what's the deal? And I took it out and washed it, gave it a quick wash here. But as you can see, it's still purple. Like I said, maybe a little faded. I feel like the color, the pattern is popping out there, but really, that's still there. The wear marks on the back are still here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change direction with this one, which is fine. We you have to adapt and move. So my wife does tie-dye shirts, as I may have mentioned. She is gonna help me pick out a really nice color. She was thinking off the top of her head like a navy blue or something to layer over this purple so it wouldn't look all like, she calls it like a muddy color. I don't think it really matters, but she wants it to look good if she's gonna help me do it. So she's gonna come up with a color that I can lay down over this. We're gonna dye it that color and hopefully still have a good amount of pattern showing through, and something pretty decent. In the end, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, okay? You end up with some weird colored ruck and you just modify the hell out of it, right? It's a win-win situation, Man, every time I look at this, I'm like, it's getting lighter. It's getting lighter. Did I just need to do like another 3 rounds? I don't know. Would 3 rounds do anything? And I'm like focused on this. When I look at the water where this thing is soaking in, the powder makes it like a light yellowish tint, basically like you had a huge bucket of water and you pour like 6 ounces of lemonade in there. It had a light yellow tint. Now every time I got done soaking it, it was like a dark yellow tint, like you didn't invent and you didn't drink enough water. You know what I'm talking about, right? That was the color when it was done, but there wasn't a purple in there, and all the videos I saw where people were using it, like you could see like it was a pretty instant color change. Within 5-10 minutes they had a color change, where I wasn't getting that. So maybe this wasn't dyed with RIT dye. We don't use RIT dye in this house. We use like professional chemical dyes. So I will have to order some dye for this. Maybe we'll do that tonight and hopefully it'll come this week. It's a long work week, so I'll just work. Hopefully the dye will come and we'll figure it out, and then we have to, always got to change those zipper pulls, man. Depending on what the final product is, who knows? So stay tuned. We'll do maybe we'll just do a part 2 of this series when it all comes together. So Hang tight.